Hello, everybody. I think we're upside down. Going for a ride. There. I think that'll be much better because that was going to drive me crazy thinking that you guys were upside down. Hey, Polly. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Calico. Hey, Kylie, I've made you a moderator on my chat. So you can post links, like a link to you. And also, if someone asks a question, you can kind of help me out by repeating it, if at all possible. Or if someone is being bad, you can help boot them. Hey, Paula. Hey, Lori. Oh, thank you, Polly. I want to see if I can give you an administrator too. Add moderator. Okay. Hey, Robin. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, hello. Hey, Austin. Hey, I'm so glad. Yay. Hi, Dolly or Holly. I was trying to put your name together by saying Dolly. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I've had some really good feedback on the live videos, and I think that for the most part, everybody is liking them. So if you still are liking them, even if you're watching this in the replay, I'd greatly appreciate if you would leave me a comment below after this video is done. The chat should be visible whenever you're watching the replay. I think you have to kind of finagle your screen in order to be able to see it on a computer, and I don't know how well it works on a phone. So I'm going to say hello to Gloria and Lisa and Robin again. Just a moment, I'm going to clear my throat. Okay. Hercules wants to say hello. He was on the floor down here pawing at me. Hey, Willow. Hey, Leslie. So glad you're here. Hope you had a fabulous birthday. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Lori. So Hercules just jumped up on my desk and he's currently sniffing. Let's see if I can get it in the view. He's sniffing my flower. See, I'm sniffing that. I have a couple of my zinnias from my garden. He wants to sniff everything. Hey, Cheryl. Oh, yay. I'm so glad you're here. We're having a great time getting new people in here. All right. So, Hercules, you got to get on the floor or on your pallet. Okay, buddy? He's like, no, I want to be up there. Make a bed for me. I'm glad, Leslie. All right. So, if anyone has a question, just ask it. I know that the moderation of the chat, if you post too many times, it will slow you down. So you don't have to go crazy with posting. Just post your question. And if I don't see it right away, please post it again. Okay. And yes, if all of you that have YouTubes, if you'll say that you have a YouTube, what you can do is you can click on the person. And where is it? I think you say, is it somewhere you can right click or something on the name and get it. And we'll see if we can't help you guys gain some more subscribers. And of course, if you're watching this today just because you followed the link, I greatly appreciate it. Please subscribe so you'll see the next one as well. So let me see. Let me share. Hey, Robin, are you where you could share this in the group that we're up? I've got it in our events, so I think the event is good. I'm just going to make sure that my events are working. How's everybody doing? Are y'all having a great day? I think we're okay there. Thank you, Robin. Awesome. Hey, dear, is it Julie? Oh, good. Dear Julie has a craft channel here at YouTube. I know Calico does. And Handmade from Lisa, did you get a channel going with videos? Boho Daydreams. I think she has one as well. So it looks like everybody's just chatting away. Yes, okay, perfect. So handmade by from Lisa as well. And all of you, after the video is done, if you want to wait a few minutes until it's done, and then what'll happen is YouTube will come up again and you can post a comment with the link to your channel, or just say it is a comment down there, and I know people can find you. Okay. Carol Maritime Art is also one. Hummingbird Tales by Tina, and I hope I'm not saying it wrong, Latty possibly. Hey, Angelica, I'm so glad you're here. All right, well, let's kind of get started because I can sit here and just chat forever, and I figured 6 minutes is a pretty good buffer to get everybody in here. So today I am going to make some Halloween embellishments. Okay, good. So, Lady. Okay, thank you. Um, so I'm going to make some Halloween embellishments. Naomi is one of my admin, as is Robin, that's a moderator here today in my Facebook group, the Friendly Junk Journal people. Thank you, Robin. I greatly appreciate it. And Naomi is in Australia, so she's still in bed right now, and she might get up early and make it to the end of this video. But she had said that she would like to see some embellishments, some journal cards, an altered envelope, an altered paperclip, and see how I do it, and we can talk about it live. And then I said, well, what theme does everybody want, to the admins? And they said, well, Halloween's just around the corner. Why don't you do Halloween? So when you see an image here today, and I point out that it is a digital image, it's from Calico Collage. That's Norella. She is the creator and owner of that. I'm on her design team. In the description box below this video, I have a list of all of her Halloween files that I may have been using today. Some of them I didn't know, so I just listed them all. Pardon me for clearing my throat. My allergies are just getting to me today, and so I'm having to blow my nose, and it's really not pleasant. Okay, Angelica, I figured you were in bed because it's really late there for you. Okay, so here's what I've got. I've got a Calico collage image. This is a journal page for the Hallowed Gothic journal kit from Calico Collage. And what I did is I told my printer, basically, I opened up Windows Explorer, the File Explorer, and then this image was on my screen. So I right clicked on the image and I told my computer print. And when it did, it brings up another window that you can choose photo printing options, where this be a full page, where you could do 2 5x7s or 2 4x6s. It goes on from there. Well, I chose 4 3.5 by 5.5 inches of images. Now, because you're printing the full image that has the white border that says Hallowed Gothic on there, it's actually going to come out smaller than the 3.5 by 5, just slightly, maybe by a fraction and not even a quarter of an inch. Okay. Yeah, so the digital images, Erin is asking, always wondered that digital images, do they create them? So what a lot of your graphic artists do, so here's a little education for you. They either create from scratch images, or they get images that are free domain. That means they are copyright free and they're out there for anyone to use them any way they want. So, and I don't know how Norella on this one chose the files, but I can kind of tell, just because I've been in the industry long enough, that some of these images, the elements, the individual pieces of it, you can usually find in the free domain world. So see this little frame around here? That is it's called a plate. that they use in printing presses. And so that's an image, I'm sure, I mean, it may take you all to find it, that you can find in the free domain. Then she's got the skull, and then the background, she's got the music, and then she goes in and she adds the distressing around the edges and changes the hue and the color. Hey, Eva, so glad you're here. And Stacy, Cindy, Kathy. Wow. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Erica, I'm so glad you're here. I didn't see you come in. So that's where digital images are usually created by someone that is wanting to can create completely from scratch, or they can take free domain. Okay, so Cindy, the little wrench is because those people are moderators on my channel. That's why they have that tool. These are friends of mine, and they're also helping me in case there's any bad going on. So you don't have to worry about that. You're very welcome, Erin, and I'm glad to help and share, okay? So we've got this image here, and I tried to do as much prep work as I could before the video. I was chatting with the admin of the group last night, and I said, look what I made, and oh, wait, I made some more. And then Carrie was like, well, you're not going to have anything new if you keep showing it to us. So I said, fine, I'm not going to show you anymore. Thank you, Erica. It's kind of a peachy orange color, and I am terrible at painting my nails, so please don't judge me. So I worked on some last night. So I have a prototype of almost everything except for this right here, because I just decided to do that. So I have an idea of how things are going to come together because I planned them that way. So I know, and I'll just kind of explain my process as I go. And if you are tired of me talking like this, just let me know. Just say, okay, move on, Linda. So how I determine what I'm going to make. I found this image. I liked it. I printed 4 of them on a page, and then I cut it out. So then I thought, well, I think it automatically makes a natural mini journal cover. So I cut a piece of black cardstock a little bit bigger, and I'll adhere these together. And then I had some mop-up page in my Tattered Angels box, and I cut those to be pages. Now, I'm making journal kits, and so I'm making 4 of them. That's why I printed 4 of these images. So once I have one made, I can assembly line make the others. So that was why this is done this way. All right, so I'm just going to use a little bit of glue on the back side of here. Carrie was mentioning that I always show the best glue ever with the no clog writing cap, and she thought it came with it. So it doesn't. You have to buy it separately, but it's a great tool to have. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue on the back side here. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, okay? Thank you, Kylie. Well, I figured sometimes new crafters don't understand the method of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And it would just be helpful if they kind of understand why does she do it that way? Many times if you see something that I pull out and I said, okay, I'm going to use this. The reason why I'm using this size is because it was a scrap and I found it. So don't ever think that you have to be so particular on measurements and making sure everything is precise. I just go at it and try to figure it out along as I go because I don't measure very well. My math skills are terrible. So glad to see you here, everybody. I really do appreciate it. We have people from all over the world. Okay, so first thing, I've attached these together. I'm going to just gently fold it in half. So we're starting to get a little cover. And then I made some pages to fit. And this page, it was a little long. And instead of just cutting off that piece, I folded it over. And then if I fold this in, I have a page that will flip out or could have a pocket put in. So I'll alternate them. So I made my pages probably 1/4 of an inch smaller than the cover, just so they don't stick out past my book cover. All right, so I've got 4 pages here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 8 over here, that's 16 pages. So I am working on some social media stuff. Austin has asked the question if I've covered anything about prices, avoiding copyright for journals and such for people that are going to sell. If you go back and watch my story time with Linda, how to get on a design team, I have 3 videos that kind of cover some of what you're talking about, Austin. And I plan to do a couple more in the future where we talk about, look at, and I'll just kind of briefly say this. I know that Norella makes sure that when she uses an image, that she either pays for the right to use it or it's in free domain. It's free public use. So you're never going to worry about with Norella using her images in your journals that there's a copyright problem. Okay. Now, if you go to Pinterest and someone throws up an image of Norella's journal card, and it looks like you can kind of print it, and then you print that, that's a copyright violation. You're not giving credit or the payment due to the person who created the image. So be very careful about just downloading things from Pinterest and making them things you're going to sell. Okay. All right. I'm just rambling now, I feel like. All right. So I've got my little pieces together here. Do you want me to bind it? You want me to just bind it by sewing it together, y'all? Who's not seen how to bind a journal? I've got to get my needle. Needle, needle, needle. That's not the right needle. I got too much stuff beside me again. There we go. I have needles going everywhere. Catastrophe. Okay, so for y'all that may not know, I sell a bookbinder's needle. This is a 4-inch heavy needle. And this is one actually out of the packages that I sell in my shop if you don't have one of these. And I just like them because they're easier to use. So here's how you measure how much you need for your journal. You measure 3 times the length. So 1, 2, and 3, and that should be all you need. You can cut it longer if you want, but it's not necessary. And what I like to do is I like to match up my pages together, and I will use a paper clip or a binder clip. Let me see, here we go. I've got some little paper clips right here. So I'm just going to paper clip that here and paper clip it up there, so that the pages are nestled together. When you're making a book, you don't want to fold your pages and then crease them and crease them and crease them, because that weakens the paper. And when it becomes a journal like this, and then you poke holes through that, your pages are going to just rip right out. So you want to make sure that you don't crease those pages a whole bunch. All right, so I'm just going to eyeball it, but I'm going to poke 3 holes. I've just got a little Tim Holtz awl here, okay? Yeah, you're not too late, Norella. I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're here. Okay, so I'm going to poke right straight down. You see that in the center, and I'm making a hole, and that's right about where his nose is. And then I think probably about a 1/2 inch from the edge, I'm going to poke another hole. And then I'll go from the other side doing the same thing. All right, so I've poked 3 holes. Then I take my threaded needle and go through the center. Okay. Are we all doing okay? And Then we're going to pull some thread through from the outside. We're coming back to the inside. I'll pull this tail up out of the way. I'm pulling this taut. Go back through the hole in the center. Then we're going to go up here to the bottom. Pull that in. Put it underneath. Pull it around and tie. All right, so anybody have any questions about how to bind a journal? I think y'all are talking amongst yourselves. Or is it just me? Is anybody watching me? I'm reading the chat for those of you that are watching, and they're all talking to each other about where they live and didn't get in, you know, it's just kind of funny. Hey, Camellia. I'm so glad you got here and you're able to watch. Yay. I love the larger ones, Kylie. I've got them in my shop. I can't remember it's under $5, I think, for 2 of them, and with shipping. If you're outside the USA and you want some of these, go to my shop and then just send me a message from there that you're wanting one, and I need your shipping address and your email address, and I can send you an invoice. Okay. Do you like that stencil? Yeah, you're seeing that stencil there. It's a new stencil. I haven't put it in my shop yet. Okay, so right off the bat, we made a little journal. Okay, woohoo! All right, so now let's use the stencil that Robin has spied underneath here. I have not put it in my shop yet. I think this is going to be a limited edition stencil because it takes right at 30 minutes to cut, y'all. So it took a little bit of time to cut that. All right, so we'll get that out of the way. Here's what I've got. I've got approximately a 6 by 9 1/4 book page. All right. The Glimmer of Mist will be soon. Okay, so Tina, great. So what I'm going to do is take this piece of paper and I'm going to fold it in half, like so. And then I'm going to take this and fold it in half again, like so. And this is going to be the beginnings of, yes, there's spiders on the stencil. This is going to be the beginning of my altered paperclip, okay? So if y'all like the stencil enough, I'm going to have to charge more for it. I normally charge $8.99 for my stencils, but this one took so long that I'm going to have to charge more. But I think it's so freaking cool, y'all. Okay, so it's got spider webs and a few little spiders in there. And so I've got some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist, and I've got Almost Black is the color. And you always want to shake it up because it's got mica powders in it and pigment powders. And if you don't, it'll try to suck it up into your straw and it'll clog your straw. And then your sprayer won't work, okay? All right. Yes, yes, that's why I'm doing this, Dorella. This is perfect for the Halloween and Gothic. So I've just sprayed it a couple of times, and then I folded another one the same way. I'm going to lay that on top to mop up. And then I'm trying to keep it a secret. So you can't see it. Don't see it yet. Don't see it yet. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, so here's where I sprayed it through the stencil. And then this is what it looks like by mopping it up off the stencil. You like it? You like it? Isn't that cool? So anyhow, if you're interested in that, let me know and I will start cutting some and put them in my shop. But I wasn't sure if anybody wanted to spend, I think we're going to do $10.99 for this, okay? Yes, that's why I like both versions of this. That's why I want to show you when you use a stencil, especially with a product that stays wet, a spray or a very wet paint, that when you go over the top of your stencil, put another piece of paper and mop up so you get that negative and positive images. I think it's really cool. Isn't that cool? Erica says start cutting. I think she wants one. Okay, cool, cool. All right, Erica. I think I've got a package that's coming to you soon. I'm drinking some tea today. It's too hot for my coffee or hot tea. Okay, good. I'm glad. I thought, my stencil would be something that I'll put it on a piece of paper, a white piece of paper, just so you can see the whole thing. So it's got, I didn't draw the elements. What I did is much like what Norella does. She takes the images and brings them in and manipulates them and then adds her stuff, her touch to it. So I ended up in my Cricut software importing 2 or 3 different spider webs and then pushing them together. And then I found spiders and started putting those in there. It probably took me about an hour, hour and a half to design it. And then I cut, this is my first one. This is my prototype cut the way I wanted. So I thought that was pretty cool. Polly wants one too. All right, so I'll be cutting them, and y'all be looking for them. I'll have after this video, I'll list them in my shop. Okay, we're talking too much, Linda. Okay, I'm gonna just get some regular tacky glue. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm gonna close this piece up. Okay, I'm gonna do that again over here. So I just opened it up halfway, and I just want this to have a little bit more strength because we're going to add on top of it, and this is our altered paper clip. All right, so I got a paper clip, and what I like to do is put the little portion in the middle and make sure that it's lined up pretty much in the center because I want this to go on the top of my page this way because of what I'm putting on top of it. But you could always put it this way. Gloria, I use 2 different things. I have a Photoshop Elements. Gloria's asked me what kind of software I use to manipulate stuff. So I have Photoshop Elements to be able to edit images and graphics. And then if I'm trying to make it a print and cut or a cut image, I'll put it into either the Silhouette Cameo software, or I'll put it into the Cricut software. It kind of depends if it already had maybe an image or something that I liked, and then I would use whatever software that things felt together. Does that make sense? You like that, Norella? I love it. I think this turned out really good, and it took me some time, but I was like, okay, I have got to come up with a Halloween stencil that is worthy of my peeps, my friends. And I think I came up with it. And I was going to make more, and I thought, nah, this is it. This is the one. I was thinking about making some that had candy corns on it, but I don't know. Y'all have talked me into it. Okay, so I'm just putting some glue in here. Make sure I put some glue where the paper clip is, all right? That Cricut is something that whenever I'm talking to new people, you don't have to buy everything that's out there. If you are in the market and you want to buy an electronic cutter, do some research to figure out what your skill set and need is and kind of ask questions. So I kind of say Cricut is it's an advanced cutter, but it's also a cutter for very simple people that don't want to have to read a whole bunch of directions to learn how to use it. So you go in and you just click on an image. It comes on your screen. You change it to whatever size you want, and you say next, and then it pretty much tells you you're going to cut paper this size. This is the color you're going to cut first, and then you cut it. You have to have a little bit of imagination. On the Silhouette, in my opinion, the Silhouette is more technical. I can go in there and draw a box a certain size. I can put text inside of it. I can tell it which order I want it to do it. To me, it meets my analytical, logical, technical side, where the Cricut is pretty much plop an image, move it a little bit, attach it, print, or attach it and cut. Yes, Cindy says that you can download the Silhouette software and use it to work with images for free. You won't be able to cut with the Silhouette software until you buy a Silhouette. But you can go in, and here's an example. I created these words in the Silhouette. And what it does is it gives me these little marks that I put on there. Once it's printed, I put it in the Silhouette and then it cuts it out. Well, if I wanted to, I could just print this and hand cut these out. But then you would have the images that you wanted. This was only using a box and a font. I did not have to pay for this image, if you will, to create them. All it's costing me is paper and ink and my time. Okay, real simple. The Brother and Design and Cut. I have the Scan and Cut one, and it's supposed to be super simple, and it's finicky to me. I've used it a few times. I only spent $60 on it. I found it at a thrift store, and I think it may just be the model that I have. So the Scan and Cut, I don't know much about it, but I also think that the Design Cut is supposed to have a lot more advanced features to it. But I currently use my Silhouette and my Cricut. I use both, and I have my system set up that technically, if I have both softwares open on my computer, I can cut or print at the exact same time. I'm very efficient. Okay, so y'all kept me chatting, and then I'm losing my place. All right, so I've got a couple of images from Calico Collage. Do I need to go ahead and glue this together? Do you guys get the gist so far? So I'm going to take this. Oh, I'll show you one more tip. And we're going to distress ink around those and adhere them. And then I've got another one here. We're going to distress ink around those and adhere them. And then I've got little journal cards. Where are my images? Well, somewhere I've got some more images, but I'm going to show you part of this really quick, like, so because, oh, here they are. Here's the little images that go on top. Okay, so here is a tip that I found of being able to make something look a little bit darker on the edges. Okay, and I want to get this completely done, so I'm just adding distress ink really fast because I think it makes the whole effect that much better if I show you how this works. All right, so I'm just putting a little bit of glue on the back side. Close my lid. I'm going to put this on top. Get it centered. All right, so that looks okay. You know, it's the edges got a little darkness to it. It's not super duper dark, but I'm okay with it, but I think it could be better. And so let me show you how to make it better. I have a ruler here. It's got a metal edge, and I've got a cheap Dollar Tree black marker. Okay. And what I'm going to do is go here on the edge and just make a mark. And look what that does to that image. It frames it, and it looks like you've matted it with another piece of paper when you haven't. So let's do the whole thing. And this is such a cheap art tool. I mean, y'all have a ruler, right? Do you have a Sharpie? You have a black pen? I mean, that's a great tool right there to take this. We'll show you the difference. The one in my left hand has the black frame and the one on the right does not. I mean, isn't that a simple thing to do right there? Yeah, it does. And that's why I even sew on my sewing machine. That's my equivalent to this black marker. So I had I used to do this for years and years and years. I'd also use these gold leafing or gold foil pins on the edge like that. So, just because I use a zigzag stitch on mine, so when Linda uses a zigzag stitch, get your marker out and a ruler and make a line. Okay. And that way, that's my equivalent of sewing. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is you take this little piece here, and I want there to be a pocket. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on 3 sides. Do y'all see that? And then I'll place this on front here. And then I have, where'd it go? I gotta find them now. Did I put them back in here? Okay. And then I made, using my Cricut, black paper, glitter, the best glue ever. I made glitter cardstock. And then I cut little spiders and bats. And so this little bat will get glued on here, and I'll show you what it looks like. So that's with the little glitter on there. And then here's the journal card where I did the same technique, mounted the image onto the gold cardstock, went around it with a black marker, and then I stuck that in the pocket like that. Oh, and I forgot to do something. I was going to spray some yellow onto this piece. I still can. I've got some yellow here, maple yellow. So I'm going to kind of cover the image and just spritz it. So it just adds a little bit on there with the yellow. Oh, so Erica just asked, oh no, Erin just asked, what size of the no clog cap fits the glitter glue? And that is the medium. This is the large. This is the medium. Hey, Laura. Hey, Carol. That's a cool creepy dude image. I agree. He is. All right. So you see how those turned out? Do you like that? Is that neat? Is that something you can do? You don't have to have my image. Just put a different image here and have a journal card on there. Try your way with whatever you have. Thank you, Tina. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside. What I did was I made this. This is my little kit of what I made for you guys and gals. I put all the stuff in here, so all I had to do is start putting it together. Hey, Angie, so glad you're here. All right, so let's get the next one out. Yep, I'm still going to need that. Do you want me to completely go through the whole process, or do you want me just to tell you how it's done? Let me show you the card, and then I'll kind of go over how it's done. All right. Don't need this. I do need that. All right, so I'm getting all my little pieces out here. All right, so that's too many. I made this little card. And what I did was, this is some tulle that has spider webs on it. I got it last year after I think Halloween on super duper glittery markdown price. And so I've had it for the year trying to figure out how do I want to use it. And it's hard to work with it because if you put traditional glue down, it comes up through the mesh and then you have a gluey mess. and it's sticky and yuck and all that good stuff. So here's what I did. I guess I'll go through the process. Y'all ready for some more Tattered Angels Glimmer Mists? You like it? I like this glittery fabric. It's really cool. All right, now, cooperate. Okay, so I've got a white piece of paper and an ivory piece of paper, and I'm going to get the Safety Orange Glimmer Mists, and we're going to spritz those. And then I put down the black. Here it is. And the black I'm going to fling. I took the wand out, and I'm just pressing it over. And to help dry this a little bit, I'm going to kind of smush it on to the other one. And that kind of gives it a speckledy look. Yeah, never can have too much glimmer. I agree with that. All right. Y'all still with me? Okay, so then we're going to do the same technique of, and I'll do it on this big one because I want to show you two things when I'm doing this. So I'm taking the Distress ink and I'm going ahead, even though I am planning to do the black around the edge, because when you do it this way, you're getting that darker hue coming up the page, which gives it that grungy look. Are you seeing how it kind of just comes in and gives this grungy look around the paper? Erin, Erin wants to know how, she says she's dying to know how many different Glimmer Mist colors you have. I don't have them all yet, but I think I have somewhere around probably 75. And there's more than that. So every time I go to Canvas Court Brands, I get more. So, okay, now you like the way that looks, Erin, right? You like this, Laura. Okay, so now let's get our ruler and our pen, and let's do the same technique that we did on the other card, and I'll show you just how much more this pops. Just by adding a permanent marker. I needed to buy stock in permanent markers before I showed you all this video, because y'all are going to be going out and buying markers tomorrow. I just know it. Make sure you close the lid on your marker really tight, because I didn't want it dried out. Okay, let's get rid of that guy. Just block him. I don't know if I can. All right. Put user in timeout. Okay. All righty. Thank you for your help. Okay, so do you see the difference with the frame? Don't you think that it finishes that off really well? Thank you, ladies. I appreciate the help. Some people, there's so many trolls in the world. All right. So now I want to attach this lace on here, but glue's going to seep up through it. So here's where this no clog writing tip cap on this glue. And it's this glue because the best glue ever, when you put it down, if you let it air dry, it will become tacky. Okay. Oh, Jane, yes. So Jane says, wow, Glimmer Mist is going on my list. I'm such a beginner. I don't even have all the basics. And Jane, when I show you stuff here today, I tried to keep it somewhat basic and ask, is there an alternative that I could use for if you don't have that item? Okay. Do you like it, Carol? I like it too. I like it too. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this no clog writing tip, and we're going to make a bead of glue on the edge, on all the way around, making a little frame. And I'm not putting a lot of glue. It's barely touching that surface. And you see that? I mean, in fact, on the camera, it looks like more than it really is. It's just barely on there. And then what we'll do is we're going to set this aside and it will air dry. And then it'll become tacky. And then you can lay that piece on top and it sticks and the glue doesn't come up through it. Aaron says, I swear the internet ruined my nice, happy memories of the 80s trolls. I love it. May Wolf asks, how does the Glimmer mist compare to the Jane Davenport inks? I do not know. If Jane Davenport's are in a spray bottle, I would think the concept would work the same. I just prefer Tattered Angels because I'm on their design team and they're awesome people. All right, so Gloria wanted to know what colors I would recommend for a beginner. All right, so I'm showing you guys some stuff. Are you learning anything? I mean, basically, I finished this card by laying the tulle on top. I created a stamp saying, same concept as before, spritzing the paper, stamping on it, black frame. That got glued down. And then we had a little spider on that one. And then the other one was just layering all these pieces, drawing around the box. And then this time I just put the adhesive onto the square and adhere them together. Okay. Okay, so let me set this aside. So that's two projects I've showed you. So people want to know some basic colors about Tattered Angels. So here's what I'll tell you. I'm getting some hand lotion. My hands are dry. What do you like to do? Are you more of a grungy, vintage type? Do you like the soft, Victorian, shabby chic and pearls? Do you want that in-your-face, wild, crazy colors? So see, there's different styles out there. Now do you know why I have 75 bottles of Glimmer mist? So let me get one little thing out here. So this is my drawer of, well, it's kind of a couple of random things. This is my drawer of my neutrals that I think kind of goes with almost every color scheme. So if I'm trying to do something like the Halloween, I came in here for black, and then I pulled the yellow, the green, and the orange because those are Halloween colors. And these are matte, so they're not going to have the glimmer in it. So it kind of goes with Halloween and darkness. So if you're kind of new and you want that shabby chic, pretty colors, some of the colors that I would do would be Precious Metal. That's a good one. My bottle looks dirty, but Dazzling Diamonds. It's a clear, and it just puts a beautiful sparkle on your stuff. Walnut Gold is a really pretty color that gets that vintage paper look. So it looks like it's kind of tea-dyed paper a little bit, but it's not super dark, okay? No, I'm not justifying. So you can tell I like Precious Metal because there's already, I have 3 bottles of it in here. Now for a little bit darker, you can go with the woven burlap. So it's going to be a darker brown. You've got Cork, which is going to be a coppery brown. I like Craft, and it is very close to what craft paper looks like, except it's going to have a gold hue to it. Okay, so those are a little bit darker colors that you can go with. And you can even get even darker with Old Penny. Old Penny is really dark copper. So this is where, if you're doing a lot of mixed media and you want that really dark, deep, almost coffee colored. Then they have lighter browns or silvers like Silver Sugar. This particular one I do because I've run out of room on the shelf that I wanted to put them. I had so many that it was so much easier just to put them in a drawer, because then I could bring it to my work desk and pull out the colors I wanted to work with today, slide the drawer back. So you do not have to store them on your other sides. That's just how these are. But I do recommend you always shake them. Always shake them before you use them. Okay, does that make sense? All right. So I've given you some neutral colors. Do you still want me to go on with more colors? I feel like I'm rambling. Yes, Linda needs more shelves. I need about 3,000 more square feet. If I could have a place where I could say, here's all my Tattered Angels, and this is my Tattered Angels workstation. Oh my gosh, I'd be ecstatic. And then I would have a workstation for rubber stamping. So all my stamps are easily accessible. There's a comfortable chair to sit in, and then I've got one that I want to do mixed media painting. And so I have a nice clear space to get messy, and all my paints are there. And then I want to have my sewing area so that I can get away from all the other, and you're not distracted by the mess, and go sit and I could sew for a little while. Okay, someone wants me to make more embellishments. All right, we'll take an intermission in a moment, and we'll make an envelope, and then I'll show you guys some more colors. Okay, so here's what we got. Altered envelope. Okay. And when Naomi had asked about that, I said, okay, well, I'll get a few things and see what I can do to help everybody. So do you want me? I'll show you what we've got here. I picked up some rubber stamp, and I've got some images that I cut on my Cricut. And let's see. I've got old envelopes. These were envelopes that belonged to my husband's former family's business, and they were going to throw them away. And I ended up getting them. So I'm going to use them today. So I'm going to get my sample so I can remember how I put it together. All right. So the first thing that I did is I am using an envelope that has not been used. But if you have a used envelope, you could still proceed where you're going. I'm in, Erin asked, she always forget what state I'm in. I'm in Oklahoma. I'm in Yukon, Oklahoma. And that's where the business was. So if you have a used envelope, it's probably going to be opened across the top here, and you won't have this flappy piece. But I have another tutorial that was released the same day as today, 8/27 of 17. That is a Halloween envelope tutorial. So it will show you how to do something with a used envelope, okay? So I have this unused envelope, and what I did was I cut 2 inches off of this side and 2 inches off of that side. So I end up with a piece like this, and I ended up with a piece like this. So I've got these 2 pieces. Get this out of the way. This over here. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these up, and we're going to get the spray box out. And this time I'll use the stencil. I wasn't going to, but I'm going to use the stencil. Why not? I have it. So I'm going to lay the stencil over it. I'll show you one that I made that I didn't use a stencil on after we had done, so you can kind of see the difference. So let's do a little bit of the black, and let's do a little orange. I think I want a little green. So it's kind of get that muddy look. And then, okay, I'm gonna take the stencil up. I'm gonna mop up So this mop-up page can become a little journal page in one of my little miniature journals. Okay, it's kind of cool with that zombie green. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm setting the stencil side. Then I'm going to get some orange, and I'm going to flick it over. Okay, close that up. Flip it over to get any of that wet. Okay. And by the way, I am making a video. I've decided that you can come back probably next week, and I will probably have some of these as actual individual tutorials, so you don't have to go through the whole live chat. I can't get my words out all of a sudden. Okay, so I've got this little flap on here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of some glue to close this flap onto itself. And then I'm going to go around the edges with the distressed inks. Okay. I should have done the step outs, I guess, where I had already sprayed everything, but I didn't. All right, so I've gone around that with the brown, the walnut stain. I'm going to do the same with the envelope. Yeah, spray box are really handy to have. You know, it's nice to be able to spray into that. Leslie asked, don't I have all that space at my new studio? Sadly, it's not that big. I do have 3 dedicated spaces there that are one for sewing, one for the glass studio area, and then one is for the paper art and workshop area. And it's not that big. There's enough room to seat 4 people, you know, with their supplies at the table. That's how big they are. So Gloria asked about my spray box, how big or deep it is. Basically, it's about 2.5 inches, and it's big enough to hold an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I saved it because I'm a hoarder. You there? I've said it. It's a real thing. And I was messing with the Glimmer mist, and I used to have a great big deep box, and I'd have to bend over and put, you know, and spray, and my back was killing me. And I was like, hey, I wonder if this box will work. And so I came in here and I put a piece of paper in it, and there's a little bit of room, and it's like, that works. And I opened up a drawer that sits beside me. It's one of those 3-drawer iris cart cheapy ones that you get at Walmart or Target. And I open the drawer, and it fits in the drawer. I have stencils underneath it, and then I can slide this in. So when I'm done, it's not on my desk because I have no room on my desk. Hoarders. Hey, at least I don't have anything growing in my house that's not supposed to be. I may not be the best housekeeper. I did sweep and mop the floor today. Norder's help group. Okay. All right. So I've made these 2 pieces. All right. They're kind of eerie and green. All right. So we're going to go with the black distress ink. And this time I'm just going to take the ink pad and go direct onto the paper. And it's just going to darken that edge just a little bit. It makes it pop. I'm going to do it on this as well. Hey, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm sorry if I haven't called out your name today. I've been a little in my head here trying to get some of these shown to you. Okay. So just added that all over the place. So now I'm going to take this little envelope piece that has a pocket space here, and we're going to put some glue on it. I'm going to use this one today. I'm almost out of the other. So I'm going to put a line across here and a line across the bottom. I'm not going to go up on the other side because the size of the journal card that I have, it doesn't quite fit inside all the way. All right, so now I'm just gluing that down right here. So that'll dry in just a moment. And then I have a little skull and crossbones that I've created. And then this is about a 2 1/4 inch circle. So I'm going to take some distress ink and just gently go over. It kind of gives him a little grungy, distressed look. Okay. So I don't even know if you can tell that difference in there, but I just got a little bit on there. And then I cut some of this sparkly tulle. So I have a little roll of this neon green right here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of glue and I'm going to put it on the back side of this guy. And I'm making it kind of bloppy. Okay, that's a technical term, Robin, bloppy. Write it down. And then I've got my circle. You see me? I've got this glittery stuff. And so I want to put that on top of this circle and press it into place. And then I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to look at this and say, probably like that. We got my technical terms. I'm almost out of my best glue ever, Dawn. And there's some projects that the best glue ever is perfect for, and there's some projects that the Aleene's tacky glue is very perfect and simple and easy, and I still use it because I'm cheap, y'all. Okay, so I just layered that on top of another one. Did y'all see that? Bloopy in your notes. You like that? Okay, is that making sense what I did there? And so it kind of gives a little sparkle right behind. All right. So then I made a tag. So we've got this neon green paper that I use the Paper Studios punch. Okay. And in fact, I'm going to show you guys and gals this. So I've got just a scrap of paper here that is less than 1.5 inches, but barely. I mean, it's just barely. Can you see that? If I turn, you see there's a little bit of a gap right there. So if I get this in the center, put it down on my desk, and cut, it will still cut a cute tag shape at the top. So this, to me, when people are asking what is a tool to get as a beginner, you don't have to have a tag cutter like this because you can do what I also do, which is I just cut the corner, take this piece, flip it over to the other side, cut the other corner, figure out where you want to cut it, and punch a hole in it, and you've got a tag. So you can get the best glue ever. There's a link in my description block. That's funny. So there's some tag shapes that you can get. One manually with your hands, the other with a punch. So if you have the money that's on sale, buy one if it makes you happy. But you don't have to have it. It's not a necessity. Okay, that's what that was the point of that sidetrack. All right, so I'm going to do some distress ink around here. And that was using that punch is how I made this little tag. And then I took some of that tulle and just cut it into a little strip. And we're going to poke that through the hole up here. And tie it off. And this will go in the pocket right behind this guy. Okay. And then I've got a journal card here that we need to add some color to. So this time I'm going to use the green and spritz it. And then I'm going to take the black and I'm going to fling it. And then I'll flip this over and kind of smush it. So fling it and smush it. Thank you, Laura. To me, that tag, people are like, do you have a special corner thingy? And I'm like, no, I just use my finger. Just use my fingers and get it done. The glue is awesome glue, the best glue ever. You can see I've got a couple of little bottles here. This one is like almost empty. It's sticky. I'm like, well, I got to just get it done. Okay, so we've got this piece. Now this time, instead of doing the black marker around it, I did the distress ink with the vintage walnut. And then I took the ink pad for the black soot. Hey, Sherry, so glad you're here. And I'm just going right around the edge like I did on the envelope. Okay. And then I have this is kind of Brilliance. It's a pigment ink. It's a wet ink, so it'll stay wetter longer. And I like it because it's a really dark color. And I just got a little bat. And so this guy is going to go right there. Okay. Oh, take care, Vay. You have a good night. And you can come back and watch the rest of it later when you want to. All right. So I'm going to turn this over. And the bad thing is this little flap won't stay down. Oh, and I forgot one thing. I forgot the trick or treat. So I have a rubber stamp that says trick or treat. It's from Brutus Monroe, and I stamped that out and matted it with a piece of black, and that's going to go right here. Now, let's flip this over. So then I took another one of the skull and crossbones and a piece of black cardstock, and then about the halfway mark, like a little half circle of glue, and then looking at the center, but don't come up too high, stick this down, and that'll be a closure to hold your envelope closed. Okay, so then that'll flip out, and then you have the inside. Let's put some spray on that. We got to add some glimmer mist here and there. So let's add some yellow. All right, so we put some yellow in there. So now it's not so naked looking. And then there's that. All right, so here's one I made where I splattered the paint. Bye, Norella. Go have a good dinner. So this one, I did the splatter technique where I splattered it and sprayed a little bit. So you get a little different look depending on how you apply your colors to it. Was that kind of neat? Oh yeah, and again, if you have a channel, sub to each other so that you guys can follow each other and learn from each other and be inspired. All right, so what do I got here? Okay, I've got another little journal card we can make. How's that sound? We'll do some stamping. We'll do some stamping. All right, so I've got just a piece. You can already see a sneak peek of what it's going to look like. But we got to show you how to put it together. Alrighty. So prior to the video, I have this witch stamp, and I stamped her and I cut her out, fussy cutter, and then I punched a black circle so those will fit together. And then I've got a piece of cardstock here, and I want this black ink, so I'm going to use this Brilliance ink again. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to ink up this little house. I'm just marching it across. And so I'm going to stamp this wonky and put one right there. Put one up higher. One down low. And so we just kind of went across there, okay? Thank you. Do you know what these containers are? We like mushrooms in our house. And the mushrooms come in these plastic containers. And I tell my husband, would you wash that for me? And so he washes it and he puts it over there and he goes, do you still need more of those? I go, yeah, I use them all the time. See, I have 3 of them stacked right here. Isn't that cute? It's just stampabilities. And I may have gotten it on clearance. I don't know. But I just thought it was pretty cute. And I had to show that. So then we need to clean our stamp. Because when you're dealing with a pigment ink, it stays on there. And you should really clean it. So I'm going to spray it with the best cleaner ever. And I'm going to take my other stamp because I haven't cleaned it yet. And I'm rubbing them together. So it kind of spreads that cleaner around. And wipe them off. And usually it becomes cleaner than it's been in years. Everybody was writing. Okay, so I've got this little piece here. So we're going to go around the edge with Distress inks. I like the Distress inks. If you don't have Distress inks, I've not tested it, but I am meaning to test it. You can buy instant coffee and make it rather strong, and then use a makeup sponge to daub up the coffee and make a dark edge. So that's a tip for you today. All right, we're going to do the same technique of using the ruler around here. So you know, Tina has asked me, where do I purchase my stamps from? Tina, I have had some of these stamps for 20 plus years. I used to be a dots who then transitioned to close to my heart demonstrator. And I have also been on design teams for other companies like Postmodern Design Stamps, who's no longer in business, but Beeline Stamps, who's still in business. She only sells wholesale. Then I've been with Brutus Monroe, and so I got stamps from him. So those can all be considered probably internet sales. I'll go to Hobby Lobby, and if I see a stamp that just fits me, I'll buy it. I go to stamp conventions as well. So I'm in Oklahoma, and usually there's stamp conventions in Grapevine, Texas. And so I'll go down there. So yeah, you'll have to look at my craft room tour if you haven't seen it. Pardon me. All right, so I've gone around the edge of that, so it kind of pops, doesn't it? Don't you think? Haha. All right, so guess what? Let's get the spray box again. So this time I'm just going to do the orange on here, I think. So let's kind of spray a little bit of orange. And if I got too much, I'll just kind of blot it. Blot it. Yeah, so yeah, I have some really old stamps. I have a lot of stamps. I have not counted them, but I have several thousand stamps in my collection. All right, so now we've got that portion. So I've got the October 31st stamp. And when I first stamped it, it had an area in here that was leaving a mark. So I took my scissors and cut it out. Don't be afraid to modify your stuff. It's a tool. Okay, so there's the date. I'll clean my stamp again. Okay, put that over here. And then we're going to take this little witchy witch. Oh, wait, wrong one. Gotta get the right color. And I've got the black soot, and we're going to do some distress ink just to cover that yellow on the edge. And it kind of gives that an eerie, glowing effect. And then we're going to put just a little bit of glue and layer these together. And then we're going to make her have a little green frou-frou thing. So I think what I did was this. So I just kind of bunched it up. And I had my hot glue gun on yesterday, so I don't have it on today. But we're going to try to sneak this in here. All right, so I got it. And we're going to do it like this. And we're going to get it all layered at the right place. Like that. Ha! Okay. So that made a little card. What do you think? So Tina says, I'm glad you're using stamps, Linda. I struggle with using them, never know whether or how to color them in or not. You know, as of late, because I've been doing the junk journal side of things, I find that I like to stamp and not color because I am enjoying the creative side of creating a journal. It could be a custom journal. It could be somebody doing a swap or whatever, and making that one thing and then moving on to the next. And coloring, to me, it takes a lot of time. And that's not my forte. I'm not the best colorer, but I think I can get pretty clever with how to use stamps, not just black ink. It's not colored, but because of the layering of using the spray and adding the frame and using the distressed inks, it's got more depth to it, doesn't it? Yeah, simple stamps have great impact. See, and you know what? I don't color in the lines either, so that's where I love to watercolor on stamped images and let it flow from it. So when I do color, I love watercoloring on them. Okay. All right. So we did that. Let's put this one away. I'll show you this one. Oh, I lost my card. Where is it? Oh, so this card went on this altered envelope. And so this is some more Calico collage images. And basically, let me find my little container. Is it over here? Yeah. So basically what I've done is these are domino images that Calico Collage has. So that's 1 by 1.5, I think. And so then I cut a piece of purple to matte, and then I cut a piece of black to matte. And now I have all of these, because I did different ones, ready to go that I can put on things and embellish with. Les, if you're having problems with your page curling, you've got too much moisture. And what Kylie just said is you can take a heat tool. So if your paper is curling like this, you can heat it and flip it over back and forth, and that'll usually get it to lay flat. but you're probably using too much adhesive, liquid adhesive. Did Norella just release her Halloween images? Awesome. I haven't got any of the new ones. These are the ones that I've been playing with. So yeah, this is one of hers. So the same concept of the other envelope where we made a pocket on the front, we made the journal card, and then we splattered, and then on the back I used one of the domino images as the way to tuck it closed. Okay. Yeah, I think it's so much easier to make embellishments ahead of time, so that way now when I'm ready to make another one of those, I've got this element, or if I want to stick a doily behind it or whatever, I've got that piece, it's ready to go, and it's an embellishment right there. And you can take it further by adding flowers and glitter and pearls and rhinestones and whatever you like. Thank you, Tina. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's do one more. And then if you have any questions, you can start asking them. So this one, do you want me to show you how I made this one, or let me just tell you? So I've used the same method of coloring the paper, going around the edge. All right, Tina says show. So I've got this, and we got this and this, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4. And some more of my glittered paper that I made. I love this glitter paper. It turned out really cool. I have to show you the full sheet of it. And look how glittery that is. And I can take this to my Cricut and cut. Okay. So I'm going to add some distress ink. This is kind of the ABCs of it. I love making the glitter paper. I love learning something new, getting an idea and going ahead and saying, hey, I can make that myself instead of buying something. If I already have all the supplies to do it, it just makes me so happy to be able to say, I made that. Don't you agree? Didn't it make you feel good to say that? Okay, so I have distressed ink. We need to put some Glimmer mist on here. We're going to do the Safety Orange again. And I'm just going to spray it and blot it. Blot. It kind of mutes it a little bit. Don't you agree? All righty then. So let's... Sorry, that was silly. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to stamp on here. So I've got I think that's the right one. Yeah. I've got Boo to You. It was a cheapy stamp. It's probably paid $1 for it or less after Halloween. Camellia, here's what I did with the glitter. First, I have a craft mat by Tim Holtz that's really wide and it covers my whole desk. I put that down first. And then I painted my paper. And then I got a great big piece of scrapbook paper to put behind the paper, then sprinkled it on, and I just carefully moved everything. And I just kept it from going everywhere. It worked out. I did a video on it, so I'll show you guys what that looks like probably tomorrow if I get it uploaded. All right, so I'm going to do Boo to You and stamp that across the top. Again, it's just one of those cheapy stamps, okay? We're going to go around the edges with the black pen. All right, so what are y'all going to be doing next? What's your next project? I'm going to be making a Halloween junk journal, paper bag junk journal. And I'm going to make it a workshop with all the steps, but it's going to be really cheap. And I'm going to have a few kits for those of you that don't have the supplies to make your own available. Let's see what else. I'm working on editing some more of the tag videos that I've been sharing. And then I have the Violet junk journal page to finish. Oh, awesome, Jane. Make your first one. That's awesome. Phone stand. That's awesome. Sewing doll clothes, Erin says. Making prayer journal, says Angie. So yeah, everybody's got all kinds of things that they're working on. Fall ATCs, said Laura. So we've got someone else is doing Edgar Allan Poe. Finishing the winter journal. Thank you, Diana. Diana says, I want to make some glitter paper. She says, your laugh is contagious, Linda. So happy. I'm in the middle of making a fall journal for a swap. Oh, bookmark, Cheryl says. So lots of stuff. Okay, so we've made that portion. So now I've got the circle piece, and this one's going to use the same house. So this is another thing that I like to show. Using the same stamp, I'm making something different, and I can have this in my junk journal for consistency. You kind of use the same thing, then you know you've got the repeat of the image, right? All right, so let's take this piece. And this time what I did was I think I did two. No, I did one. Okay. I had to remember how I did this. Okay, so I've got a piece of this tulle. And I'm going to make a little circle on here. Then we're going to put this one on top. And I went too far because I'm a dork. Okay. So then I'm going to take these two pieces and separate them and turn them cattywampus. That's another technical term, cattywampus. So you kind of see that the different edges are sticking out. All right. Congrats on making your first journals. That was an awesome feeling when you get those done, isn't it? There's so many cool things you can see and do, and being able to try them is awesome. Okay. All right, I'm going to put this right here. Oh, I glue on my finger. And then we've got the little bat. I'm going to use some of the best glue ever because I have a need for it. This will stick this down. Oh yeah, let me go back and show you because it should be dry by now. All right, so then I'm going to take this piece and we're going to put it right about there. I have glue all over my fingers. What do you think? Like it? Is that good? All right. Well, and then here, so now you're seeing where I use that stamp and this stamping, it's different. Carol, that's what I'm going to do. My Halloween junk journal kit that I'm going to work on is going to be for a paper bag journal, the 12 by 12 paper sack. So it'll end up being, or not 12 by 12, 6 by 12. And so it'll be a 6 by 6 journal, and it will include paper bags. Do you like it? I'm having fun getting things ready. So, I figured if I'm going to have an eclectic look to it. What I'll do is in my kit, you would get the finished item like this to put in your journal. And then I'll have a tutorial that will walk you through how to decorate the bags and put things together. Okay, Carol, awesome. Thanks, Robin. Thank you, Robin. Diana says, you are getting me in the mood for Halloween and fun. So these were just some of the things that I played with. I've got, I have to share the shape because I love the way it looks. Okay, where'd it go? Oh, man. Oh, and I haven't even done this yet. These are all Halloween words from suggestions from the Facebook group. People came in and said different phrases that they liked. And so I've typed up a bunch of them. And then I've got these Calico collage. Oops, I'm out of picture. Images that I plan to cut and make into some things for these junk journal kits. So I'm in a busy bee. Busy. I'll have little words too. I think there was 50 words. Black magic, beware, all hallows eve, boo you, candy corn, and more. Don't you think the cats are cute? The cats are super cute. They're super cute. So I'll make these into a journal card or an element or something. And once I've got it all done, I'll let everybody know. Bye, Erica. Thanks for being here. All right. Is there any more questions before I get off here? Laura, you would ask that. If I'm a good girl and I do nothing but this tomorrow, I hope to have it done by tomorrow night for my first few kits. Oh, so I need to see Narilla's new kit, huh? Okay. I may be begging her. So Erin asked the question, how many hours a day do you devote to your crafting business? And I treat this as what I call a 9-to-5 job. Okay. But with lots of flexibility. But I feel like if I get up in the morning, I get dressed. In my case, I have a garden, so I go outside. And you're very welcome, Camellia. I'll go outside, I'll water, I'll go for a walk. I try to do a few things like that. My husband actually cooks breakfast. He doesn't cook it every day, but he does on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So usually I can go do all of those things. And then by the time he gets back to the house, he starts cooking. And then I can come in and help or keep cleaning or whatever I'm doing. And then I do some social media, probably about anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. It depends on how busy it was overnight. And then I'll go to my room and I will work on projects. Sometimes coming to my room is a consistent of turning on music and going through my stuff and making little baskets of goodies. It could be putting everything away because I'm done with that type of project. So I had all these say I'm done with Halloween. I'm not doing anymore. Well, I would collect all of these up and I'd put them in a little pouch that says Halloween. And so I would have those for next time. So that takes time to clean that up and to think about where I want to put it so I can find it again. And cleaning the stamps and putting those away. So that may be something that happens. Sometimes I sketch things out. If an idea comes to me while I'm walking, I may put it on my phone. I may come in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping and I think of something and I'll go and say, okay, so if I take an envelope and cut off the ends and take that end and put it on the front, that becomes a pocket. There's an idea. So I'll write that down. So my creativity is 24/7, but physical time that I may spend creating under the camera, usually anywhere between 4 to 6 hours on some days. Some days it's not even an hour, but it's usually about 4 to 5 hours that I spend. Does that answer your question? Thank you, Camellia. Thank you. Everybody's saying thanks. Everybody's also saying goodbye, so they got to go. All righty. You're very welcome, Erin. You're very welcome. Hey, Jane. Yeah, so I stay busy, but if my husband come home early from work and he says, "Hey, let's go to dinner now." So I'll say, "Okay." And I just turn everything off and go. But I'm also editing, when I say I'm in studio time too, that's part of it. But I'm also editing my photos, editing the videos, writing blog posts, getting all of the products listed that I use, making sure I got links that go to those. So I stay really busy and I'm not making a living yet. I am starting to make some money. And so, anytime that I share something and I say, you can get this through the link below and you want to buy it, please use my link because many of those I get a small commission. And I greatly appreciate that. And if you are so inclined, I had a couple people ask me about it, and I'm really close to getting ready for that, of doing a membership program that it's basically a donation to me. You would just pay X amount a month, and I'd probably send out a newsletter once a month, and we'll have a Facebook group. That's something that we're talking about doing, a subscription type thing, so that I could do some private videos with the group that wants to, pay for that time. So I stay busy and I'm trying to make a little bit of money. I've just recently hit the $100 mark on YouTube per a 28 days. So that's pretty awesome, I think. um, I'm doing it organically. I haven't paid for advertisements. I've not, joined those click here, add your channel and you'll get 5,000 subscribers that don't watch. So, people that are watching me are watching me. So I hope that you enjoy what I'm doing. You keep coming back. And Carol just said that she would like to see a subscription box with items to make journals. And that may be something that I can do. I'm working out some details. I need to talk to a couple of my design teams that I work with and see what I can get. Robin says she wants a pumpkin stencil. And I'm going to be making, for those of y'all that didn't see it, I've got a spider web stencil and I'll get that posted tonight. So everybody that wants that. Thank you, Kylie. I'm just trying to put myself out there. I'm a real person. I'm not a fake person. I'm fat. I'm loud, obnoxious. I make messes. My fingernails look like disaster. you know, and I'm all about encouraging. Laura says, I enjoy the authenticity of how you create and interact with those of us who are newer to some of this. I'm so glad, Diana, that you got here too. I love, what I'm doing. I've been very blessed this past year to be able to do this full time. And I've met so many wonderful friends. I have been making sales. I'm working on a custom junk journal right now. This will be a workshop. It's a purple junk journal. And pardon me, purple Victorian with scriptures involved in it and lions. Oh my. So it's going to be kind of neat to be able to do that as well. Thank you, Polly. And I just feel that we're all in this together. Why not be kind and share and encourage? And, if I come out and say something to you that may be like, you shouldn't do that, I'm doing it with all love. I'm just trying to say to you, hey, that's not appropriate or that's not going to work here or whatever. But for the most part, if you're creating art and you're happy with it, be happy with it. And thank you, Laura. She said she likes my Facebook group too. I have two. I have one that's just, it says By Linda Israel. It's smaller, it's about 600 members. I'm pretty much the only one that posts in there. Everybody pretty much reads my posts and replies. And most of everything gets posted in that, as well as the Friendly Junk Journal people. And the only reason to basically join both is so that you make sure you get to see my posts. I'm basically spamming you in two groups. But yes, I think everybody should be encouraged and helped and given the opportunity to grow and become a better artist. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Yes, Dottie Lou, it's a purple junk journal that I'm making for this gal. It's going to be a gift. And she said, the birthday's not until October. And I said, normally it takes me about 2 to 3 weeks to do a custom journal like this. And I sent her a message. I need to send her another one to show her some of the updates. It's probably going to take me over a month because of doing this. So I'm making tutorials out of this, and then I go make a page or an element for hers, and I'm trying to make it very special. Y'all have a great night. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here. I was reading some of the comments. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you being here and watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, after we get done here, share this on your social media. Make sure you give this a thumbs up. Even come back and make a comment on the page after it's over with. I really appreciate that. Be on the lookout for some tutorials, videos. Basically, I'm going to go through and step by step make these into quick videos so that you guys can have them individually and be able to use them, okay? Good night, Angelica. Good night. Good night, Cheryl. Good night, everybody. I really appreciate you. Sherry, Julie, Angie, Kylie, Camelia. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Y'all are very welcome. You're very welcome. Yes, Halloween's going to be fun. Good night, John Boy, as Robin says. Oh, here we go. Since I've done it on the others, I say, no, you say bye. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Y'all have an awesome night. I'm going to clean up here and get some more videos made for you. Have a great night. Bye. All right, I got to find the button to stop it. Bye.